Don't you hate it when somebody has a time that they're gonna go live and they just shortchange you and don't even get time to have your own coffee or anything? Good morning. I hope everybody's doing well. Thank you for coming in today. So far, I see Ladybug Stacker. How you doing, my friend? Thank you for being a channel member. AZ Coins. Thank you for being a channel member. Appreciate you being in here. My brother, what's up? See Happy Chappy's in the house. Thank you for being here. I hope everybody's doing really well today. Today, I'm going to be talking, and it's going to be more directed towards the new person in collecting, right? So let's say that you are a person who has not done coin collections. It's not something you've ever done before, but you need to figure out what's happening. You need to get to your next steps. You need to figure out kind of how you're going to be putting those things together. So we're going to kind of talk about that. What's up, Jackalope? How you doing, bud? Good to see you here. This Logic is in the house. This Logic, thank you for being a channel member. Kane Friday, thank you for being a channel member. I definitely appreciate that. Thank you so much for the support. I hope everybody had a good turkey day, by the way. Um, I did what I always do and ate too much food, but you know how it is. You got to do it. It's just kind of a thing. So, but I hope everybody's doing really well. Again, after last week, I know there's only a few people in the chat, but how many of you got to experience what happened on Sunday last week? Now, I put a video out yesterday, kind of bringing all the little pieces together. Uh, Taking the 2-hour live stream and breaking it down into like a 20-minute video where we identify this last little piece. But if you're not familiar with what happened, we had somebody named Coach send a coin through Jackalope Herdmaster. Jackalope, I really appreciate you connecting Coach with me and let's going through this. But we were able to look at, and this is no joke, and authenticate a 1795 half cent flowing hair, right? this this was so freaking cool. It was such an amazing experience. Now most of you know that I have Paula Bloom on my channel quite frequently. I have people like Eric Bayer on my channel quite frequently. I try to have smart coin people up with me most of the time to talk about the coins and help answer questions. It makes for good comment, it makes for good banter. But on Sunday, just prior to the coin being displayed, Chuck Daughtry of Copper Coins decided to join the stream. So not only was it me and Paula, it was Chuck Daughtry and Eric Bayer. And man, that was a lot of fun. So if you haven't seen that video, go check that out. It was really cool. It was the authentication of that 1795 half cent. It was a lot of fun. But in that, in talking with Coach, one of the questions came to me that we would really like to find more about what happens if you inherit a coin collection? What happens if you get that? Imagine the days when half cents could buy something. Yeah, I know. I know it's really crazy to think that, that you could have purchased something with a half cent. Um, yeah, it's ridiculous. Good morning, Paula Bloom. Coin Junkies in the house. What's going on, Coin Junkie? If you guys like watching coin searches and stuff and you want to see somebody who's fun and reactive and energetic, go check out Coin Junkie. That dude's a hoot. Hey, Brown Sugar, guess what I got in? Yep, it's here. Thank you for being my secret Santa. I got a little bit of a video that I'm going to do. I'll probably open it up live tomorrow. But thank you so much for that. Brown Sugar was my secret Santa, or I was Brown Secret's secret Santa. So, however you want to say that. Anyway, I got my package in from her. It was really cool. Haven't completely opened it because once I realized what it was, I was like, I got to stop. But there he is, Coach's Magic. Hey, it was a fun episode. Wanted to get to same more photos to you last night, but was a little under the weather. Man, no worries. It's the holidays. You got a family. There's so much going on. But today is kind of pointed directly at you. So you asked the question, and I want to kind of go over a couple things with some people here. Now, many of us have coin collections either that we got, we've done this for a long time, or we started with our, a parent or a grandparent, or, we had a friend that did it. And so we just kind of got into coin collecting that way. But some people don't get into coin collecting until somebody gives them some coins. And one of the question that Coach's Magic asked was, what happens? What are some of the steps you need to follow? I mean, like, what do you do when you get a coin collection? And so I kind of wanted to go through a couple of these things. Now, I know, it's kind of grown, but it is what it is. So when I look at this, it is what it is. I mean, hey. So I'm going to share this with you. Okay, I'm going to throw this up. And this is just really quick. I'm going to leave myself over here in the corner. Hopefully the video stays good and I don't get a lot of lag. Let me go ahead and hide this. But there's a couple of things that I really want to kind of go over. And we're talking specifically if you're not a collector and you receive a new coin collection. Okay, so the first thing you don't want to do is a don't. Don't clean your coins. It's really easy. What's up, Ringmaster Ray? Good to see you. Thanks for being in here. Appreciate you. Papa Smurf is in the house. Thank you for being here, Papa Ron. I appreciate you. West Texas Stacker, woohoo! Texas represent. Yo, SADX guy here. Good to see you in the house. Thanks for being here. So when we look at this, and if I haven't called you out, I'm sorry. I'm trying. Hey, Miss Paula, do you want to come up and hang out for a little bit, or you want to slowly sip on your coffee? Oh, dig nibbit. Not what I wanted to do. Let's open that back up. Clicky too quickie. Clicky too quickie. All right. There you go. If you want to come up, Paula, go ahead and pop on in. All right. So we're going to hide this again. So the first thing you definitely don't want to do is you don't want to clean your coins. Now, this goes without saying, um, but it's often people open this up and they want to see what it is. And maybe there's a little bit of gunk on your coin. Maybe there's a little bit of something on your coin that you can't tell. Uh, I joke with Chuck or whatever when they pull something out and you see a thumbprint or something on it. He calls it a Larry. If there's a Larry on your coin, leave it alone. Don't mess with it because you may have something that's worth something, but at the moment you start to clean it, you're going to completely destroy the value. Ah, you know what? That happens, silver serp the silent silver stacker. That stuff happens. Um, but when you get something from somebody, like somebody gives you a collection, one of the first things you need to do, right, is and this is going to come with yeah, Coin Junkie is like, "Oh, Larry." Yeah, exactly, right? You know what I'm talking about. But his watch Chuck Daughtry knows exactly what's going on. Oh, here she is, the one, the only Miss Paula Bloom.
Morning.
Hi, Paula.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
Fantastic.
How was your very silent
Oh
Thanksgiving?
my gosh, it was the best Thanksgiving I can remember.
Good, good to hear.
It was so good.
So we're talking about like the top 7 things that you want to do. If you get a coin collection, so if you're wheeled one or somebody passes away, or you have like let's say a friend um, just gives you a coin collection. Do you agree with the very first item here?
Well, that would be in there, yeah, for sure. That'd be in there.
So what do you think the first thing would be that you would do when you get a coin collection?
Um, First thing, so what do people normally do when they get a coin collection? They normally take it to like a coin dealer or somebody to help them appraise it. Um, They, I would tell them to buy a red book. That's what I would tell them. I'd say buy a red book to help you identify what you have. Don't go by the prices in the red book, just to help you know what the coins are. Um,
Yeah, see,
well,
that's logic.
I don't know that I mean, a lot of people, if it's a coin collection, hopefully it's already in some storage things and stuff like that. But
So that's one of my first questions
See,
I
and
want
that's
to ask.
I wouldn't spend too much money on it initially. So buying a safe, I mean, if it's full of gold coins, yeah, maybe. But if it's just somebody's coin collection, you need to know what you have before you spend an exorbitant amount of money on
Yeah,
it.
and
You know,
so talking from a person who is a risk assessment guy, somebody who's a process improvement, process strategy guy, the first thing you're going to want to do, yeah, you take it to people and do whatever, but the very first thing that you're going to want to do is organize your stuff.
yeah, you want to organize it,
You want
and
to find out what you have,
that's
right?
why you buy a red book.
Well, yeah, but even before you do that, it's okay to put the cents together. It's okay to put the dimes together. It's okay to put the quarters together. It's the same thing when you're looking through coin rolls or coin stuff, right? You don't want to be looking at 400 different dates and mint marks. You want to organize your stuff to make it easier for you to understand. So when you want to start to research something, break it down to the very simplest element. So you're going to separate your stuff and you're going to organize it. You're going to do something like put all the cents together. If you have half cents or cents, separate them, right? Put them into different containers. Now, you can go crazy, and I'm going to tell you not to go crazy. Don't go buy 10,000 flips. Don't go buy, all this other stuff. Don't do that at this point. The first thing you want to do is just simply organize it. Understand kind of what you have, lay it out. Now, as Paula said something very key. If it is a true collection, you're probably going to get some books. You're probably going to have some of these little things. Let me reach over here. You may have some of these little things, right, where you open it up and you have coins and stuff, and they may be cataloged, they may not be. You may have some books come in. I'm glad that shows up because it's green. I figured it'd disappear on my green screen. Um, so you may get some books and stuff like that, but still, you're going to want to document what you have, right? And you're going to want to document if it is a book, what's missing, right? And just label it. I mean, you can go through it, but again, when you're talking about looking at something, you don't want to have to be able to go grab your book every time to be able to talk about something. Keep a little logbook, right? Put some stuff together and just document it. Now, this is something that everybody should do. Most of us don't, but some of us do. And that is to document kind of what you have so that if anything was to happen, people actually know what you have without having to go through every single solitary
And make
item.
sure you tell people where that information is at. Like if it's on
Exactly.
your computer, you need to have some kind of passcode or something in your safe somewhere or something where they can get a hold of it. Like
Yeah. So
something.
I'm gonna show you real quick when I talk about organization. Now, this is I just put this up here for you guys. Mine's very similar to this. It's a little bit more complex than this. Um, but I wasn't planning on breaking this out. But this is kind of how mine lays up. So I have a master list. I have what books I have. I have what containers I have, whether they're cents, whether they're nickels, dimes, quarters, whether they're 50-cent pieces. I have the isolation coins. I have gold coins. I have whatever it is. I have a master list, and that master list is going to tell me what box it's in. So whether the box is uh, you know, number 14 or whether the box is number 3 or whatever it is. If it's, here, it's the treasure box, right? So I have my little treasure box here, and my little treasure box contains a couple coins that I got from grandma. And so this is my container box that I have. Whatever it is. Doesn't matter what the container is, doesn't matter what's happened. Document what's there and a little bit about what's in it. Now, the more detail that you provide, the better off you're going to be when it comes time to organize and structure this stuff. So when you go to grab this, if you're looking at your list, what's up, Gold Sniping Farmer? Good to see you. If you're looking at your list and you open this up, you already know what's in there, right? You can simply go through, and after a while, you're going to be able to know, hey, these are the ones that I want to take to the coin shop, or these are the ones that I want to take pictures of and send to, Paula there at LiveCoin Q&A, since she's one of only 3 people who actually read emails. You didn't laugh, Paula. You were supposed
What?
to.
I'm sorry. I was reading
Threw you a
something.
bone.
I missed it. What did you say?
See, I threw you a bone for a joke,
No,
and it
I
was
was
just.
reading something. I was reading. Sorry, I was reading. Should
I
I?
said, so
That's what she
you.
said. Is that what I'm supposed to say?
No. So
Okay.
I said, let's say that you have this one and you want to take pictures of it and send it to Paula at LiveCoin Q&A,
Oh
because
yeah.
she's one of only 3 people that actually reads the emails.
That's true.
Anyway, I was trying to
True.
throw you a bone for a joke, and you
It
just.
is, but it's true. It's a joke,
Yeah.
but it's a truth, but it's true. It's true.
But again, so the first thing you really, 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 I'm telling you, the best thing you can do is kind of document everything you have. Now, this is a tedious process, but I promise that if you do this, you're going to set yourself up for better success. Now, as you start to go through this stuff, okay, so I'm going to go back a little bit. I'm going to go back to here. Document, write everything down, right? This is why you have the list. This is what you're looking at. So you have things in the container. It's all there. It's all set aside. You have everything put together. You've documented where it's at. You kind of know what's there. So you have your master list. Then you're going to go to it the next level. In each master list, you're going to put a materials list. Now, the materials list is exactly what Paula was talking about, right? You want to know what's in each of the containers. Now, in the containers, you want to kind of break that out. Now, you can get as deep or as shallow as you want to with this, but what you want to do is you want to put something specific. So let's say that you have this little treasure box, and this treasure box is small, but let's say you have one that's bigger than this. And in this treasure box, you have the list of items that are here. Now, obviously, 25 rolls of cents are not going to fit in this little box. But if I come down here and I grab one of these, this is a list of pennies. Well, there may be more than that in this particular box, but you're going to want to catalog what's in here. So in this particular box, I have labeled 1940s. So these are all my 1940s wheat cents. And so I know that when I want to start breaking these out, then I have this box that I can go to and I can start breaking out all my 1940s. I have a 50s and a 30s and a 20s. So document, right? Put what's in there, because when you go to start looking for something, then you can go back in to repeat this list, and then you can do some more sub-organization and really get into, okay, so I'm going to I have these 25 rolls of cents. They're already set in rolls. I don't really have to do anything with those. I can store those in a safe, dry place, put my little silica pack in there to keep them from getting wet and damaged, and then store them in a cool, dry place, and I'm good to go. But if I have a bunch of loose cents like this and I don't have time right now to sort through them, if I can at least get them separated by decade, then when it's time for me to actually go through and start looking at these things, then I can go ahead and break them out, and I can get down into the deeper and deeper, deeper. And then when it comes time to search them, then you can break it out by the specific year, maybe even the specific mint mark, and then you really set yourself up for looking at good quality information, or good. You can set yourself up with like a good couple resources, and then look at a very specific, very narrow bandwidth of coins, and it'll help you stay focused when you're actually trying to find something of key value. So break stuff out, right? Document. Now, there's an old adage in the risk assessment medical world, and that is, and it goes for doctors or whatnot, if you don't document it, it didn't happen, right? So even when we're looking at errors and varieties, and ask Paula, because Paula knows this way better than I do, even the mint documents every die, how long it was struck, the approximate amount of coins, what time it was retired, what it was retired for. So every die, everything gets documented.
They're supposed to.
Okay. Now, well, they're supposed to. Okay. Well,
But yeah.
but yeah, no.
Yeah.
Right. And why is that? Well, because when you go back to look over things, you really want to know what's there. What do you have? Right? You can be able to identify. Plus, after a while, you can find some things. Now, let's say that you don't get but 30 or 40 coins. So you look at those coins. So the first thing that you really want to assess once you kind of organize that is, are they all common dates? Are they all 2000s and 2017? That's not a coin collection, it's a collection of coins, right? So you can actually kind of go through, but it's way better if you start to organize and put it all together, because once you do that, once you actually kind of get that together, then you can go grab, hold on, where did it go? Oh, I actually put my books back where they belong. I'm not going to worry about it. Then you can grab what she said, grab your red book. And now, because your stuff is somewhat organized, you can actually go to a specific area and pull up the red book and pull up cents. And then you can be looking at cents. Then you can look at
Don't
your
use the red book as a price guide. Please don't ever use the red book as a price guide. Please don't ever.
A red book is good for two things. Okay. Knowing how many of what are in that run. Is it a key date? Is this something you should?
Oh, it's got fantastic. Basically, it's got fantastic information in it. It's just not a great price guide.
Well, but we're talking about for the new person.
Yeah.
Right.
It's got great information in it.
Yeah. So you're going to want to make sure that you have something like that. But again, ever, Paula? I'm not sure what
ever, because I said don't ever.
Oh, don't ever. Yeah. Well, and the reason that she says that is because by the time it's printed and released, the prices have already changed.
Yeah, it's already like 3 years old. So
yeah, so it's not worth doing that. It's very easy to find a resource and want to do it. I mean, now I have a 2006 Red Book. Imagine me trying to utilize that as a price guide.
Right, but that brings up another good point. You can buy an old Red Book for a lot cheaper than you can buy for a couple bucks.
Yeah.
And so don't buy there. I don't think there's ever, the only good reason to buy a brand new one is because there might be a new quarter in there. There might be information about a new quarter or a new commemorative or something in there, but
yeah,
all the information is the same. So you can buy one that's a couple years old for a couple bucks as opposed to a brand new one for, what do they go for? 14, 15 bucks?
Yeah, they're not expensive. I bought a new one because the other one I had was, 20 years old.
Well, the spiral thing wears out really quick.
Yeah. Well, mine was a hardback.
You went fancy.
I went fancy. But I got the spiral one now, and because I'm not going to open it very often, I'm going to look at it with mintages. But there's so many great resources online that you don't have to have that. Now, if you're first looking at it, some people like tactile, right? Some people
I love a book.
Okay. Some people just like to hold it, right? They like to touch it. They like the smell of the pages. They like that stuff. So there are people who absolutely will buy a book way over looking at something on your phone or looking at a Kindle or something like that. However you have your resources doesn't really matter. Okay. Document what you have. Once you organize, once you document it, it's going to be easier for you to go back and, number one, find the item that you want to search for, right? But once you organize, once you get it all together and you've protected them, right? I already talked about putting them in nice storage containers. Don't put them in a Tupperware dish and stick them under the sink, right? Be leery and wary. Don't put these in your garage, especially if you live in a really humid environment. If you live in Arizona where it's arid and dry, it might be okay, not as big of a deal. But if you live in South Carolina, you don't want to stick this acid-based paper in plastic coated PVC wrapped pennies, especially like newer ones, out in the garage. You just don't want to do that. So be smart, store them in a cool, dry place. Try to safeguard them from moisture. Moisture is your number one key to destroying a coin, right? Or acid and chemicals and stuff like that as well. But keep it away from moisture. But once you do that and you have all this stuff organized, this is where I would suggest you get your trusted partner. You have everything set up, because then now that it's all organized, now you have a little bit better method to ask. I'm looking at my pennies, I'm looking at my cents, right? Help me understand what I have. Take some good photos, right? If you're really good with this, take some good quality photos. Now it's important to take good photos, right? Blurry cell phone pics don't make for good photos when you're trying to send to somebody to say, help me understand what I have here. The other thing, and you'll hear Paula say this when they send an email. Paula, what's the one thing you never ask?
What is this?
What do you think?
What do you think? Yeah. What is this? What do you think?
I think it's a coin.
Be specific. Be specific.
Right. So what is it that you want to know? Hey, a great example of this is the other day I received an email, and there were 3 pictures of a coin. And I reached out to the person who sent it to me, and I said, well, based off of the images that I can see, I believe it to be a Dryer coin. But I have the images were good, so I was able to kind of get an idea of what they were. So I was able to send that off and say very specifically, I believe that this is a Dryer coin. Can you confirm? That was the email that I sent to Live.
You didn't ask me to confirm it.
I asked another one of your friends.
You didn't ask me to confirm. Probably Shannon.
No.
Oh, Amanda. I don't know.
Nope.
He didn't ask me to confirm.
Nope. Come on, there's only a couple more.
Shay.
Okay. I'll give you a clue. It's me.
It's you.
So, who would I reach out to right now to ask a question
I don't know.
if you weren't available?
Shay.
Why? Because I talk to him all the time.
I don't know, man.
I
don't know, man.
But anyway, Shay confirmed, yes, it is in fact a Dryer coin. Now, why was it so easy for him to respond so very quickly? Well, because I was very specific. Here are the coins. This is what I believe it is. Can you confirm? It was very specific. There was no doubt about exactly what I was asking. But if I sent a coin and go, hey, what do you think? He'd be like, oh, pretty cool. But now I don't know anything. Now I'm no smarter. I don't know the wiser. So look it up, right? Do a little bit of research. And that's where you can find some stuff. Try to understand what it is you're looking for. If you've watched the Live Coin Q&A on Mondays, you'll know that the emails that they get, for the most part, the ones that they put on, are, hey, I was looking through some coins and found this. Amanda doesn't answer emails anymore because when I go to someone else has already answered them.
Yeah.
Hi, Amanda.
Papa Smurf, I still have my big, huge Grey's Anatomy book. I still have that thing. I paid a fortune for that thing when I was in school. I don't dare get rid of it.
The actual anatomy book?
Yeah.
I have all of mine. My anatomy, pathophysiology, cytology, histology. I have all of mine.
I have all mine too. They're just so stinking expensive. They're stored in the garage in a box, but
I have a big old like 5 or 6 big totes of old school stuff.
Yeah.
I
can't. They're too expensive. I mean,
I spent probably $5,000 on books during
easy.
Yeah. So I have almost all of mine. But again, when you're doing that, like get your trusted partner. But when you go to ask questions, ask specific questions, right? It's okay to say, is there anything like really intriguing here?
Just be cautious who you ask.
Yeah.
Be careful who you ask. Honestly, people mean well, but there's a lot of, and a lot of times they're giving you the information that they got from somebody else. So, bad information. What do they say? A lie can make it around the world 2 times before the truth ever reaches the front door.
Oh yeah.
I mean, and that's the same with bad information. Like it just spreads. It spreads like herpes.
Yeah, and folks, I'll say this, there are a lot of good, well-meaning people that
Yes,
give
of
out
course.
crap information,
Yep.
um, just because they don't know any better,
And they're
right?
just teaching you what they learned,
Yeah,
and they got the wrong information, and it just goes downhill like that banana phone game or whatever, the telephone game.
the banana phone game.
Isn't that what isn't it? Well, it's telephone is the game, I think, but I don't know. Haven't you ever played that game where you whisper something in somebody's ear
Oh,
and they have to go all
yeah.
the way around? It's like yeah,
We used to call it the monkey line or something like that, where
something like that. Yeah.
yeah.
By the time it gets to the end, it's like not even remotely what the first person said it was.
We were on a team one time doing
Yes, exactly. Per plus
a
monkey.
training. We had a really, really high functioning team, and we did that, and 9 of 10 of us were previous Navy, and when we start, you can strategize however you want to, and the one thing that we did is we all were looked at each other, and it's like, "Okay, we're almost all Navy. Talk back. Let's talk back. That's gonna be our thing." Right? You're gonna tell me, I'm gonna repeat it back. You're gonna say yes, or you're gonna say no. You're gonna repeat it back to me. I'm gonna say it exactly as you did. Then we're gonna move on. And we got all the way to the end. We actually had it almost verbatim. There was one word that was missed.
Hmm.
Um, but I've done that exercise 100 times, and only one time did we ever come up with the same one.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's a total mess usually. You know, the Lions crossed the Golden Gate Bridge, and then it's done. It's like, lions stole 7 ounces of silver from the mint or something.
If you're asking someone information and every time you ask them, they have an answer for you and they never say, I don't know, or I'll get back to you, or let me check that out, then they are probably making crap up because nobody knows everything. And there has to be one time when you ask them a question and they don't know the answer. They have to be
Truth.
able to tell you, I don't know, let me check it out, let me go ask, let me verify this.
Now, there are a lot of people who know a lot about a lot of things,
But nobody knows everything.
but nobody knows everything,
Yeah.
right? Except for teenagers. And I always tell
And
my
Ken
kids,
Potter.
yeah, huh?
And Ken Potter.
And Ken Potter. Jack Young. That's another. Yeah.
Jack Young
Um,
knows everything about counterfeits, for
yeah.
sure.
But there are experts in the field, and there are some people, when you're talking about a specific item, they do literally know everything about that topic.
Yes.
Um,
God.
but you're gonna find a lot of times, and this happens, I see this in a lot of channels. Well, what I understand or what I believe it to be, instead of just saying, "I don't know, let me find out. I'll get back with you."
Yeah.
It's okay not to know. It's okay not to have the answer. But there's so much misinformation online. There's so much, um, and we see this in our community all the time where well-meaning people give out bad information
Yes.
and then they
They
run with
do
it.
mean well. They do mean
Right.
well.
And it's not that they're bad people. They run with it.
Yeah.
I've made major mistakes like that. Right.
And they don't understand that some mistakes can cost somebody a lot of money, even by telling someone you should get that graded. That's money out of that person's pocket,
Yeah.
or telling them a coin is damaged when it's really not damaged. It's an actual error, or that, yes, that's a doubled die and it's just machine doubling. So the person sends that coin off to be graded, or they sell it as a doubled die when it's not really a doubled die. It's just machine doubling. So their reputation is wrecked at the get go.
Yeah, and the
You
other
have
thing is,
there's responsibility.
I'm gonna pick on one of the ladies I love the most, in the coin community, Miss Ida Herring. If we told Ida to send in every coin she thought was an error,
Oh, my Lanta.
she'd be broke. But and it's we joke with her because we love her and we know her, and she's always laughing about it. But there are situations where you can grade a coin, but in many cases, I mean, you can sell the thing raw and be just as good. Now, a good example, we got Coach's Magic in here, and I want to read something that he said. He said, "Stupid people think they know it all. Average people learn from their experiences. Smart people learn from everything and every."
That's very true.
It's exactly true. Now, he being a coach, right? He is a mentor, and it's often I don't know the answer, but you know what? Come with me and let's find it together,
Hmm.
right? And you'll find that in the community if you find somebody who has your best interest at heart. Okay. If they are only about themselves, be a little bit weary. If they're only about the business, be a little bit weary. If they are only about profit, be a little bit weary. Doesn't matter how good of a person they are. If they're only about making money, be a little bit wary about them. Because sometimes in this industry, it's not about making money, it's about making a proper assessment.
Yeah.
And if all they want to do, or it's like, yeah, it's really not worth anything, but I'll buy it from you for like $50,
Yeah. If they're honest with you,
you
right?
know?
They're honest with you. That's
But even that I would be a little bit leery on, right? Um, and because we have stories of Tiger has one where he actually had it documented really well, where a person took in a whole bunch of junk silver and they traded it out for coin. I mean, basically, here's the face value of the silver, and then they ran with it immediately to a pawn shop and got 15 times face.
uh-huh.
Be careful
Yeah.
when you're taking stuff, and one of the things you don't do, don't take it to a bank, don't do anything like that and be like, what do I have? And they're going to say, you have $50. I did a video I released just a little while ago about why it's dumb for a new hobbyist to collect silver eagles and junk silver. It's not that it's dumb, but if you don't teach people what you're doing or you don't have it documented what it's worth, they take that stuff to the bank, you could lose huge investment. The example that I give is if you have 500 American Silver Eagles, which is a monster box, right? The value of that, depending upon whatever you do, it's about $20,000. But if you take it to a bank, it's $500. So you really do need to know what's going on, but you need to have trusted sources that will give you the straight go. The bank ain't going to do it because the bank's only going to give you what's printed, the face value of the coin. And if you take a monster box to a coin shop, they may give you straight out silver price for it. But you may get a crooked coin shop that says, well, you got 500 of these, they're all valued at $1. I'll give you $700 for them. Right? Be really, really careful. And make sure that your trusted partner is a trusted partner in your community. Because it's just that's my big one, right? The last one that I really kind of want to focus on before we just get into our general chit chat, and this is really important for me. Set your expectations appropriately.
Yes.
Okay. And this is really, really hard.
Just because Grandpa said that coin was worth $10,000 don't mean it's true.
Doesn't mean it's true. My granddad was a
Bless
really
their heart.
he collected a lot of really cool things. Do you remember?
Like
I
a
don't
lot
remember.
of, if you ever get the opportunity to like see people's collections that they've inherited, a lot of them are full of Home Shopping Network
Oh,
coins.
yeah. Cane Friday, that's exactly right. And this happens all the time, right? You see these people doing $50 searches and they run across this massive freaking pile of silver.
Yep.
That's somebody doing exactly what I'm saying. Be careful
Right.
about. Somebody dumped them at the bank.
That's
But
Junior needing a pack of cigarettes.
Oh, I'll tell you the story. Did I ever tell you the story about when I worked at the gas station?
No. Finish your thought here.
Okay.
Finish your thought here. And I'm going to go grab some coffee and then tell me what you're.
Yeah, because as soon as you come back, I'll tell you that story. This is where if I'd have been a less, and I say this respectfully, but if I'd have been a lesser man, I could have had a lot of amazing coins. But when we're talking about setting your expectation appropriately, it's really important. Because my grandfather, there was Shell gas station did a presidential medal. They were made of brass. There was a list of had 40 of them or something like that at the time. And when he had them together, this was a huge, huge, huge collection of just miscellaneous stuff. There were some Susan B. Anthony's that he knew were valuable. Didn't know why, but knew they were really, really rare. There were some of these Shell gas station tokens. He had every one of them. He had collected every one of them. There were a lot of things from the publishers mint, right? It's a publishers clearinghouse coin thing where they were really cool. He had some gold stamps that were actually not gold. They were just kind of filigree brushed, 10 karat kind of looking, whatever. But then he had some really nice rare ones. In fact, one of the really nice ones he had, which he thought was cool, but it was just old. It wasn't a big deal. Was one of the ones that I have in my typeset book. And I know you won't be able to see this, but it was this coin right here. It was a capped bust. And the 1873 shield nickel. Now, he kept a lot of these because when I was born, he wanted to give me coins that were 100 years old. So he had an $1873, he had an 1873 cent, he had an 1873 half, he had an 1873 dime. And he did a lot of stuff because he wanted to give that to me when I grew up because all the coins were 100 years old. So a lot of the stuff that he got it wasn't really worth anything other than sentimental value. Now I still have those things. Well, some of those things, some of them I lost in a marriage, but I still have a majority of those things because they mean something to me. But the expectation that I have is that a majority of the stuff that my grandfather gave me wasn't really worth anything. Now, my grandfather did leave me stuff that was valuable and it's stored and safely and put away that I found out years later. But again, set your expectation high. Now, monetary value is one thing, heart value, emotional value are something totally different. And I will tell you that emotional value does not translate to pocket value on many, many occasions. So set your expectation appropriately. That's probably the best advice that I can give you.
Yeah.
So Paula's back. She's got her coffee.
Got my coffee. Cheers.
Okay. And take a drink real quick.
Ah, that's good. Do you like Steven Crowder?
So I want to tell you, hold on. I'm going to imitate somebody. Tell me who I'm imitating.
Steven Crowder.
Or Salivate Metal.
Oh,
Salivate
yeah.
Metal also does
I
the big
guess
old
so.
slurp. That was my call out to Uncle Sal.
There you go.
All right. So I want to tell you the story about when I worked at a convenience store. Now I was going to college. And while I was going to college, I worked 2 jobs. I was a night waterman at a golf course.
Wait,
I
what's
went
that?
I went around with manual sprinklers and actually put them in what they call lockets. So you know the big sprinkler,
Yeah.
right? Rainbird.
Yeah.
Well, I used to take the big metal ones and lock them into the ground. They would have all the sprinkler nozzles. You had to push them in, turn them, and then the sprinklers would come on. So between the hours of like 8 p.m. and 5 a.m., I would take these things down the fairway in the dark and find these and turn all the sprinklers on, let them run 30 minutes on a fairway, then take them to the green, water the green, take them to the next fairway, take them to the next green, and do
Yikes.
that. It was a great job, sit out there, lay down, take 20-minute naps, do whatever, let your stuff grow, listen to music. It really was. It was laid back. It was the coolest thing that I could do, and I was taking 25 credit hours at school, working 2 jobs, so I actually got a lot of rest while doing that job, but I worked hard doing it, if that made sense.
Yeah.
It was like, go, 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 take a 20-minute power nap. Go, 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 take a 20-minute power nap. But I also worked at a convenience store, and while I was working at this convenience store, there was this guy, and he was kind of a meth head, and he would steal his grandmother's silver dollars and come in to buy snacks and gas and food. Now, he would bring in $30 to $40 each time of these silver dollars, the Morgan's piece. Sometimes there would be some of the old ones. And I always called this old lady and said, "Hey, ma'am, your grandson did it again." And she would come, she would trade me out. I would give her back the coins. She would trade me out straight face value. I never ever got anything from it. It was always just a courtesy. And one time he stopped coming to the store, and I called one of our other stores and said, if he happens to show up, let her know, right? You call me, let me know, and then I'll send her down and do whatever, because she's got a lot of these at high value. Well, she passed away, and when she passed away, he took all of them and traded them in at the bank for like probably close to $1,000. We were talking with somebody, because I used to go to, it was Cypress Credit Union. If you're interested, they're in West Jordan, Utah. I was talking with somebody who's a teller, who's now the VP, and she said that this guy brought in all these silver dollars, and so I went to see if I could talk her into allowing me to buy some of them, and they're like, "No, the vice president was here and he bought them all." And it was like, "Well, which ones were they?" And there were some Carson Cities, there were San Franciscos. I mean, we're talking about thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. So it happens all the time. People steal stuff and they'll drop it off, but just be really careful, right? And a lot of people are like, "Well, why didn't you keep them? You could have kept them from whatever." And it's like integrity, right? Find somebody who has integrity, right? Because when you have something, and I'll give a good example. Coach, you still here? If you are, say howdy. It would be like Coach bringing me this 1795 half cent and me saying, "Oh, that's really cool," right? It's in a really low grade. It's not really worth a lot. It's a really cool coin. I'll give you $150 for it. Right? Right? And they're like, "Ah, $150."
Somebody would have said that to him.
Oh, they would have. Right? But turn around, look at it. It's probably, what would you say, very good condition?
I'd say VG, yeah.
VG? Yeah. And so when you look
Which is
at
not
it,
a super low grade for a coin that old.
no, but that coin's anywhere between what, 1,500 and $2,000.
2 to 3, yeah.
Yeah. Right. And so that's conservative. It could go for even higher, depending upon if somebody's looking for a collection and it happens to be one of the ones they don't have. So in the auction value could be even higher for that. It may not realize its high price, but it could realize more. But again,
I had so much fun researching that coin, by the way, coaches. Thank you very much. I had so
that was
much
fun.
fun.
That whole thing, that's
pulled
why
out
I
my
made
old-
its own video.
My old Cohen book, my little half sisters. I don't get a chance to pull that out very often. Yeah,
But
that was fun.
Integrity matters, especially in this hobby.
It
And
matters in life.
when we're talking about military, when you talk about core values, it's the first core value in the Air Force, but every one of the services have it as a core value, because integrity is integral to having a good society, being reliable and dependable. And anybody who knows about military service knows that reliability and dependability are the cornerstones of what make that really good, right? I mean, it's without it, it's just you're a bunch of rebels running around doing your own thing. But in order to achieve a mission, in order to have that integrity is really imperative. So when or if you're looking for somebody, find somebody that has a high level of integrity. Now, integrity and moral, they are not the same. You can find somebody who has good integrity, but their moral values are different. Morality has nothing to do with integrity. So somebody's moral compass doesn't have to be as the same as yours, as long as they have good, solid integrity. That's more important in this particular realm. But that's kind of just my 7 things that you want to look at when you're doing a coin collection. Now, yeah, are these 7 primary principles and the things you have to govern? No, absolutely not. These are just Frosty's ideas of what you need to have.
And
I
you know what?
emailed.
There's nothing wrong with fishing around either. There's nothing wrong with asking for more than one opinion. If you ask
No,
somebody's opinion
yeah,
and you tell them, okay, well, I'm going to go get a couple more opinions. If they get upset with you about that, then they are in the wrong business, because there is absolutely nothing wrong with it than with somebody getting multiple opinions on something.
the other,
Unless
yeah,
you absolutely have a source that you know for 100% is not going to, is going to tell you the truth and be straight up. And a lot of people have that with their coin shops and stuff. Then that's fine. But there's absolutely nothing wrong with getting more than one opinion.
yeah, and I missed the end of Monday's stream. I ended up having to go, so I didn't see you guys talk about that particular coin on Monday either. I need to go back and watch the end of that stream. Um, but yeah, I made that 20-minute video specifically of being able to do that. Number one, that was fun,
It was a lot
right?
of fun. It
It
was a
was
lot.
a lot of fun to go, okay, well, you see some damage. There's some things that make us kind of a little whatever.
It's not
And
a
then
coin
being
you
able,
see every day.
no,
Even
it,
Chuck, it's not a coin that you see every day. So what you guys watched, you guys watch the process of what people should do when
yeah,
they
yeah.
look at a coin like that.
But
Look,
it was
we took every
genuinely
single element we took every single element of that coin apart and compared it, and that's the process that should be done.
Ringmaster Ray, you're a pain in the butt.
Uh,
I just finished cleaning all my coins. Oh wait, you said not to do that. Um,
uh,
yeah, you're a pain in the butt. Hold on. Where's that block ban kick thing? Where's it? No, I'm
right.
just kidding.
Timeout.
Um, this doesn't need to be up here anymore. But again, yeah. When we talk about this within stacking. Hey, Anna, we talk about this when you're talking about that as well, and that is if you go to a coin shop and you take a silver coin, and I have. ah, You can hear the silver. Okay. You have a silver coin, right? I take it to a coin shop. The 1960 Benji, right? I love that sound. All right. So you take it to a coin shop and it's like, hey, I want you to test this. And they'll test it for you, not a big deal. But if they have a coin and you say, well, can I test it just to verify its authenticity? If they get bent out of whack, kind of a concern.
Yeah.
Because they should be, oh, absolutely, right? I know it's real. I know it's authentic, not a problem. You want verification and validation. That's a good practice to have when you're buying a coin. If they don't build up on the fundamentals of things that you should be doing as a collector, as a stacker, be a little concerned with that. Now, sometimes you'll challenge, and if you're going to challenge somebody, do so with tenacity and tact,
Yes.
right? Don't be an ignorant ass about it. Have a little bit of respect. Show them the same common courtesy that you would want somebody to show you. It's the whole golden rule thing, right? Be respectful, do unto others as you'd have them do to you, especially in this hobby, because I'll tell you right now, a relationship with a good coin shop, a relationship with some brilliant minds like the folks at Live Coin Q&A or Daniel at Coin Help You or things like that. There's a lot of brilliant people that you have good information. If you go to them and you're like, look, I know what I have. You think you're the expert, but you have to tell me what I have. You are not. You are not going to get the help that you think you deserve. Hey, what's up, Ida Herring?
Good
How are
morning,
you?
Ida.
Good to see you. Thanks for popping in and saying hi on the stream. Did you guys see my short about my stamps?
I don't think so. When did it come out?
Oh, wow.
Your
Awesome.
stamps. Your
Okay,
stamps.
hold on.
Whose
Hold on.
stamps?
Hold on. You ready?
Did you guys see my short on the
Okay.
stamps?
So
Oh,
I'm Frostbite Coins and Collectibles, not just because I do coins, but I do stamps. But look at this.
oh my gosh. You know what? I had those as a kid. My parents got me a subscription to those things, and I used to get those. I had that same album, a huge album. I had that is a crack up.
Okay. It's not a little book.
No, that's
It's a
funny.
thick monster. Like this is a beastie. I got them already. Already. Oh, I love them. So I like stamps. I like
Did
stamps.
you get those as a kid? Like, did you collect like? Were you on like the subscription, or did you buy that set?
This was given to me as a gift
Ah,
from a very special lady,
Ida.
Ida.
Ah, that's so sweet.
Yeah. No, I got it. Like she said she was going to send it to me on Monday. I was like, "You're kidding me."
Ah,
And she goes, "Nope." And I got it on Wednesday.
oh my
Like
gosh, that's
it,
so funny. What a
yeah.
memory that brings back.
Yeah. So, well, and a lot of people don't collect coins. Tiger with the 4.99 super chat. Thanks, Tiger. I appreciate you, bud. Um, we got to get ready. We're going to head over to Will's Treasures here in just a few minutes. But we were talking about it. We are talking about different collectibles, and you know how she is. She collects a lot of cool, amazing stuff. Um, but she's like, "I got something for you," and I was like, "Okay, cool." And she showed me the kind of the cover, and I was like, "Oh, I think I've seen those. Those are so cool." And then I got it. I was like, "Holy crap!
Yeah, it's big.
It's a monster." But
Mhm.
thank you, Ida.
I had so much fun with those. I looked forward to that like every month.
Well, we used to do, and I have some of them. So my granddad, he would get them, and he told me that when I got these things, that he would be saving these things for me.
Yeah.
So value wise, I don't have a lot of stamps that are high dollar. They most of them are, you know, $10, $20 max kind of.
Yeah.
But it was the thing that my granddad was collecting for me,
Aw.
right? And so I would see some of these, and I have the President Reagan inaugural coin with the stamp,
Mhm.
right? Those kind of things.
Yeah.
A lot of those kind of things. I have one when Eisenhower died, the day he died. I got the stamp collection and his inauguration stamp with the date that he died and that kind of stuff. So those for the historical purposes, I love that kind of stuff. But when I was talking to Ida about it, she's like, "I got something for you." And anyway, so Ida's awesome. I love Ida. She's so kind and gracious. So thank you so much for that, Ida. I really am giddy about that kind of stuff because you know it just brings, like you just said, it brings back so many memories
Yeah.
of my granddad and the stuff that we used to sit down and play games and do stuff
Oh
with.
my
So
gosh. I used to go to Florida. I had a grandma that lived in Florida, and she got those green stamps, and there was a store that you could go to turn those in and like get things. And I got a Mrs. Beasley doll with my grandma's green stamp. She got me a Mrs. Beasley doll. You guys probably don't know what Mrs. Beasley is. She's a creepy. It was a television show. Um, oh gosh,
well,
what
that
was it
was
called?
Facts of Life, right?
No, 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 no. It was what was the television show? Old television show. Somebody in chat will know.
Wasn't
That
it the Facts of Life?
no, no, Mrs. Beasley. That was back in the
She had
the
the beehive
50s,
like
60s.
hairdo.
No, it was back. No, that was Mrs. That was Edna. Edna. Oh,
Gramopple.
Garrett. Mrs. Garrett.
This is Garrett.
Family Affair. Thank you, Azure Blue. Yes, Family Affair. Mrs. Beasley was a doll on Family Affair that the little girl had. And she's got glasses. She's a doll, but she's an old lady doll with glasses. Mrs. Beasley. Yeah, Family Affair was the show.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, I got my grandma took me to the little green stamp store. Bought me a Mrs. Beasley doll. That's so funny.
Yeah, I don't remember that. I really wasn't into doll collecting.
Oh, no, she was creepy. And you pulled the little string on her and she said something. I don't know what she said, but yeah,
Yeah,
I was born in 67, Jackalope. It's a great year.
I was 73. Better year. Especially for dollar coins.
It would be, but I played with my toys back then. My sister saved, like, she's got this tall ballerina doll. She has all of her old Ken and Barbie and Barbie's sister. What was Barbie's sister's name?
She had a couple of them.
Well, oh my gosh, I can't think of it. Not Kip. Anyway, she had all those dolls too. She saved all those. I played with my toys. Like, they didn't make it very long. Skipper. Thank you. Yeah, there was all the Skipper dolls and Skipper collection and all the clothes. And she saved all that stuff. Not me, man. I pulled their heads off and
Yeah, because Barbie had Skipper, Stacy, and Chelsea.
But there was like a whole nother, there was a Barbie dolls in the Barbie series, and then there was Skipper and Skipper dolls and all the series of dolls that went along with her.
Yeah, Skipper was her youngest sister, if I remember correctly.
I know.
Right?
That should have told me right there. I was pulling things apart, and yeah, I did not. I guess it's a necropsy or whatever on an animal, not autopsy. Anyway, an old goldfish that died in a pond one time. I cut it open and like, I was little. I can remember doing that.
Well, yeah, I think you went into the right field then.
I did.
Yeah.
I should have known. I don't, I didn't. I should have gone into it like right out of school, but I didn't. It took me years to. I went into dental first before I even went into medical. How are your eyes? Yeah, that's a good question. How are your eyes?
My eyes are doing really well. I still have some light sensitivity. It's really hard. You'll see me blinking a lot because the lights are bright. You have to have bright lights so that you have a good clear picture. So I'll blink a lot because the brightness hurts my eyes because they're really sensitive. But like at night, I'll go outside and man, I can see crystal clear for miles.
Nice.
Haven't been able to do that since I was young. But as far as seeing and clarity, my eyes are great. So, all right, folks. Well, you know what? We've only got a couple minutes. Will's
All right.
Treasures.
Have
will
a
be
great
kicking
day,
off.
everybody. Have a fantastic week next week, and I will see you later. Bye, Frostbite. Thanks for having me up.
Oh,
Love you.
always a pleasure, my friend. All right, folks. Well, we're going to head on over. I'm going to throw up Will's Treasure. His link is here in the chat. We're going to start this premiere train here in a little while. On the premiere train, I've got a video up. It's going to be from Tiger Stacker and I did our little Peace Dollar excursion. It's the 7 coins that I got in. I'm going to be putting them into the book, talking about a couple different books and things like that. Go watch it if you want. Again, Tiger, thank you for the $4.99 super chat. Really appreciate you throwing that in there. Anyway, y'all take care. Have a wonderful day. I will see you tomorrow. I got a special guest coming up tomorrow. You're definitely going to want to be here. It's going to be a fun time. He's already confirmed. I think you guys will enjoy it. So we will see you at the train, folks. Toot toot. We'll see you later.